Welcome back to another edition of the Justin Time Podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and we got Will here with us today.
My guy, back
How's
at
it,
it.
buddy?
Doing fantastic. Seeing you, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I know it's been a while.
Yes, sir.
Look,
Big
it's been
man,
a
brother.
while for us, not much for y'all. We pop these things out very quickly.
Yeah, we just want to be proactive with the content. That's
Yeah,
what I'm privileged to be on the show with my guy for one, but just like who saw it was proactive enough and like just saw like, putting more content out on a weekly basis
yeah,
just to have you guys covered. So like that's a privilege to be able to work with somebody who actually prioritizes the following.
yep,
Just don't say as a cliche just for goodwill, but just actually means it,
yeah.
so
And before we start again, I'm gonna give a shout out to Geaux Glove Worx,
yes,
located in Denham Springs. We talked about it last episode, but they're located in Denham Springs, right outside of BR, and they're on Facebook at Geaux Glove Worx. That's GAUX Glove WORX,
yes,
and then they're on Instagram and TikTok at Geaux Glove Worx 44, spelled GAUX GLOVEURWORX 44. And I'll pin that in the description of the video and everything. Go check them out. They do really good work. But we got some football to talk about again.
it's like said, about my guy, just, we've been really just doing like early breakdowns of the LSU's football season, their upcoming schedule, and just like breaking down each, opponent on their docket. Just now, granted, we know it's deep in the middle of the summer, so there's only so much we're gonna really tell you guys about. Because like we don't know everything. It's just still so much that has to be taking place. So we're just gonna give you some like quick hitter information about each as we've done already leading up to this episode.
Yeah.
Just quick hitter information as it comes out, and we'll just briefly talk about it.
So we have LSU Media Days, the SEC Media Days,
Mhm.
I think it was this week. No, it's coming up next week. But no Sam Levitt at Media Week this year.
Mhm.
We've got Whit Weeks, TJ
Trey,
Daughtry, and Trades
Trades.
Green that are joining Kiffin in the Media Days in Tampa this year. And they like to, the media likes to make a lot about Levitt not being there,
Right.
but I don't find that's really that big of a deal.
I mean, it's just like a talking just like an in-depth talking session. I mean, like I don't think it's life or death personally,
Yeah.
and
And
just for it so not to be there.
yeah, look, to me right now at this moment, there's no greater ambassador for LSU football than Whit Weeks and Trades Green.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm totally like you're not gonna be bad off for those guys
No.
representing you
So
out of state. So I'm not too worked up about that.
yeah, and then with TJ Daughtry, we've got the transfer
Hmm.
stuff taken care of. I like it. It's very defensive heavy,
Yeah.
but we're gonna get into A&M, but we got some news yesterday that I think we should hit. And yesterday being July 15th, Burt Jones getting his jersey
Yes,
retired.
sir.
His number 7 jersey will be retired on November 14th. So
Which is massive, obviously.
yeah. So here's my
You don't
question
want to
for
say too
you.
much about them.
So here's
Go
my
ahead.
question for you. Okay. We've had a
Yeah,
lot of legendary number 7s
Mm.
throughout LSU's history.
that we have.
Let's say, so we're retiring number 7 for Burt Jones. We go in and we want to retire Patrick Peterson, the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
What do we put up? We just put up 7 and then Matthew and 7 and then Peterson.
That's a fascinating question, because like when you have obviously first off, congratulations, shout out to
Yeah.
this football icon for this program's history and much deserved. Just like we could, that's a laundry list of like information we could give you, but just for the sake of time and the sake of this question that you presented me with, but just
Told you I was gonna put you on the spot.
yeah, I already knew like you already you're a man of your words. Doesn't shock me. No, but this I think if you're going to retire a number because on a normal circumstances, it wouldn't be that, significant of a question or deal, but just
Yeah.
like because we have this jersey tradition,
And look,
with like we have two jersey
it's
traditions.
not
Yeah.
only the number 7. We've got
Yeah.
the number 18 that does
That
the same
exactly.
thing.
Well, yeah,
Like, Matt
that's
Mark
right.
gave it to Jacob Hester.
Yep.
Jacob Hester passed it on. We got all these icons wearing the same number over the years. Like, we go to retire Jacob Hester's number 18, you
Yeah.
know, or we retire Matt Mark's jersey, bringing us a first national championship of the 2000s.
Yeah.
We go retire that. So what happens when we go to retire Hester? Who do we put his first number that he wore?
Mhm.
Because a lot of these they were passed down. They were already on the team. They already had a number. They just changed
You're right.
numbers.
Right.
So we just
That's right.
retired. Did we retire that number?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, because Burt Jones is like on a legendary, you know,
Yeah.
legendary threshold in the program's history, you still retire the jersey, but like
Hmm.
still keep it in circulation.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah, I'm would just like I know like I know jersey number retirement is very sacred as they should be,
Hmm.
but like when you have a program like LSU that has two
Yeah.
jersey number traditions, I think that's a unique outlier where you
Hmm.
could retire, you could acknowledge his Burt Jones is number 7, but
Yeah.
still keep it in circulation because of that playmaker
Yeah.
type guy.
And this is what I want to see, okay? Because when Brian Kelly came, it transferred. Number 7 really transferred over to where anybody can wear it.
Yeah.
But I like the way they used to do it, where 18 was always offense, and then number 7 was the leader on defense.
Yeah, just like because even I will say I think Brendan like in the 2011 season, Brendan Taylor was the free safety. Like he did wear 18 if I remember, but like just
Yeah, I think so.
is yeah,
It
just
was
like
didn't it didn't
it's like
always
more of
start that way, but it kinda.
yeah no yeah I'm with you yeah
Yeah.
yeah I know just like it's like I always looked at number 18 as like that the team leader or one of like the celebrated team leaders and like
Yeah.
number 7 was like that big
Playmaker.
time hit playmaker guy. So
Yeah.
obviously with Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Leonard Fournette, like this list goes on.
Yeah, when I think about, big playmakers I think about the defensive side of the ball more than offense,
Yeah, no, that's their legacy. I mean,
just
as long as
because
we've
to
been watching
me
the sport, yeah,
just
that's their
because to
legacy.
me, the game changer really on the offensive side of the ball, a good quarterback will make or break you.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
And that's one player on offense. But when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they're all over the field, you know?
yeah, and like
And
that's fair to say.
yeah, and as LSU has proven in the past, in recent years under Brian Kelly, if you don't have a playmaker on defense, you really ain't got nothing.
Yeah, listen, I mean, this and like you bring up great points. Just that's as long as we've been watching the program, been growing up. Like that's the defense has been largely their identity.
Yeah.
I know if people are not as familiar with the program, they look at Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. I was like, oh, they've always had this great quarterback. No, that's not their
No.
history. That's two outlying seasons by the two greatest players in the history of the program, in my
Look, if
estimation.
you'd have told me and you would have told anybody around this that watches LSU and is an LSU fan that we would not one day not only have 1, 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks,
Yes.
we'd have laughed in your face.
I love how the camera zoomed in on you because like they
Yeah.
know you. Like that's perfect. Like you got to keep that in there. Like because
We would have laughed in your face if you'd have told us we'd have 2. And back when we were in college, if you'd have told
yes.
us we'd had 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, I would have laughed you out the student union that we sat in and ate lunch in every day.
Man, tradition, bro. We got a whole we all kind of stories. And like I will say, like, and I'm glad you brought that up because the thing is, I didn't think I would live to see the day that we have a finalist for the
Yeah.
Heisman. Personally,
And we had Tyrann
with
Mathieu
Tyrann
was the
Matthew in
finalist.
2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
didn't think
then
we'd have a
wasn't
finalist, but
Leonard Fournette got close to being a finalist.
he was. I think he was like a semifinalist,
Yeah.
but he didn't get. He wasn't a finalist though.
No, and it made me so mad that year when he was about to break that record
Yeah,
against Syracuse and Les Miles sat him.
they but
I
they knew
wanted to
they
go
needed.
through that I wanted to go through that TV and grab his big old head and shake it
I
and
remember watching it.
see if there was a brain in there just rattling around somewhere.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah,
we've got A&M forecasted.
yeah.
And look, Texas A&M, We gave you a thank you during baseball season, and y'all were laughing and y'all took over Death Valley last year and all of that, blah, blah, blah. And you got Marcel Reed running his mouth about losing to LSU. I wouldn't know. I'd never do that. Well, guess what? It's going to happen. Y'all, I owe you a thank you because our program was on the wrong side. It was trending downward. And y'all think y'all killed the program. Y'all saved it. So thank you.
Everybody plays a part. I'm looking at the all-time, before we got on, just obviously, I'm looking at Wikipedia, so just the all-time series record. LSU's currently leads the all-time series 32-25 and 3 ties. So obviously, A&M is on the current 2-game winning streak. The longest winning streak for A&M is 5. The longest winning streak for us is 6. So
Yeah, but and look, it's a more respectable program now that they got rid of Jumbo Shrimp. They're not making rings and stuff and cups for overtime win of a regular season.
man, they built that to the ground. My goodness.
But look, y'all, like I said, we were nice to y'all during baseball season. Baseball season was kind of the thank you for helping us take out the trash that is Brian Kelly. But now we've actually got a football coach and we've got a good staff and all of our players are going to put their big boy pants on. And when y'all come to Death Valley this year, we go run y'all out.
That's the plan.
They go Marcel Reed, they go knock you on your teeth. But I'll give it to him. Last year they were good, and Mike Elko he's good at rebuilding.
All right, listen. I said if you can build a respectable program at Duke in football, yes, I think you've done pretty decent for yourself.
Yeah, and looking at their schedule, I think their toughest 2 out of their 3 toughest games, or 3 out of their 4 toughest games are going to be away games.
Yep.
They have Texas at home to end the season. They have LSU away in the beginning part of half of the season, Alabama away, and then they go to Oklahoma,
That's right.
So
flex time too.
Yeah, and Elko turned that program around, and they're looking at their realistic ceiling is 10-2 and floor is 7-5. I'm leaning towards 8-4, just because Texas is always a big game and they're always a huge program.
And that's a home game for them. Look,
And
I'm looking at ESPN. Tickets are low as $513 for that Texas game.
Ooh.
Goodness gracious! I know it's in-state rivalry. Texas is a massive brand, so I get it.
Yeah,
so
but
I get it.
they've got a new offensive coordinator, who's really, if they really do this, they're not looking into their quarterback strengths.
Yeah.
Because Marcel Reed only had 3,169 passing yards with 25 touchdowns in 2025.
Yeah.
That's not that's good numbers, but that's not impressive for a pass-led offense like this guy is going to want to come in and put.
Yeah, I know, his mobility. When you have a mobile-driven quarterback, obviously, your pass numbers are going to be compromised to a great extent more times than not. But I'm with you. I'm not saying it's air raid, but just it's. But we'll just see how he continues to develop that passing ability of his.
Yeah.
Just to
Which,
to build
to
up
me,
that resume.
He kind of reminds me of, Bryce Young, Tua, Alabama.
Yeah.
They were made to be these elite passers.
Yeah.
But in reality, they just threw the ball up and they had really elite receivers that were there.
It does help for sure.
If the ball was nowhere near them, they got there because Nick Saban recruited outfielders who could track the ball. He recruited baseball players first and foremost to play football because they could track the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And that's why Alabama has had this string of great quarterbacks who was great running quarterbacks. But when they passed the ball, they just threw it. Wasn't really a pass. They were just throwing it up.
Yeah. And you could say, not to get off track too much, but just you could say that similar criticism about Ohio State quarterbacks because
Yeah.
they tailored their quarter. One thing I always respected Ohio State, you can say what they want about their pro careers as quarterbacks, but just
Mhm.
they always did an incredible job of tailoring to their quarterback strengths. Like you
Yeah.
said, get the outfielders, get like the big time playmakers to get track the ball down. You get the
Mhm.
playmakers in the backfield and let the guys as the quarterbacks use their mobility.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I think but going back to that, I think, Marcel Reed, the games I've watched him that weren't against LSU because LSU, they had no answer for him.
no. Even 2 years ago, like just like because when Conor Wegman was in the game,
Yeah.
just we had them locked up, but then like just made the quarterback switch. It would just it put us off on our heels, and
Yeah.
you saw the result, unfortunately. But
So I think if we can contain him, this game looks like the first half of last year's game.
right,
You know, we don't contain him, it's going to be a long night. But I think with Lane Kiffin at the helm, Lane Kiffin's not going to go in at halftime and say, okay, we did these great things. Let's not do those again. Let's do these. I'm convinced that to this day, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Brian Kelly that much, but to this day, I think he heard the rumors that if he lost that A&M game, that he was getting fired.
mm,
And when they were winning at halftime, he went in and made adjustments so he could get that big payout and get fired.
mm,
But you know, realistically looking at their schedule and really not knowing anything about the Aggies this offseason, I think let me pull up their schedule in order. Okay. They definitely get the win at home against Missouri State. Or is that who is that?
Missouri State, 6 o'clock,
Yeah, Missouri
September
State.
5th,
I can
Arizona
see him
State.
I can see that being a close one, but I'll give it to A&M since it's at home.
First 3 games are at home. It's about first 4 to the first 5 are at home.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Kentucky a little later, but I see A&M thrashing.
Yeah,
Then I see him coming to Baton Rouge and getting their first loss of the season.
me too.
Then they got Arkansas, and I can see him beating Arkansas. Missouri's just a joke, so they beat Missouri. We got to get rid of these games like this where they play Citadel.
Yeah,
That's not even a
like
game. That's just a bye weekend. I'm not counting that.
but like 12 o'clock, like that thing they putting out SEC Network Plus. I'm like, but
Yeah.
nobody.
And,
Yeah,
then I've got them dropping one to Bama because they go to Bama. They'll win against South Carolina. We'll talk about Tennessee later on, but I think that'll be a close game. I think it'll be another close game at Oklahoma. And then I got them dropping their season finale again to Texas.
that sounds about right to me.
So what's that? 9-3?
Yeah,
Texas 8-4?
yeah.
Yeah.
That to me that's realistic. That's realistic.
Yeah. Would you make any changes in those or
Nope, very
nope?
realistic.
But I don't know why and on the Citadel, Texas A&M Citadel thing, I think we've covered it, what we know about Texas A&M. And look, we're going to go back when it gets closer in August, and we'll run down through all of these teams again in just maybe 1 or 2 episodes. We'll take the first half of the season and look at all those teams and see what changed when we looked at it.
Yeah,
And then we'll go to the back half of the season and do the same thing. But I think right here is a good transition point because we brought up Citadel and A&M in games that I really think we shouldn't play. In talking about
that's
McNeese
it.
State.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought it up because it's tough to really fight. Granted, like I said before, we're in the summer, midsummer, so there's only so much you're gonna really know regardless. But
Yeah.
I went on McNeese's website. The main thing I could think about just like Navarre Chevrolet jersey patch have been revealed for all McNeese teams. So obviously jersey patch, very for some people it could be a contentious topic. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
business is business at the end of the day. People gotta accept that. It's
Yeah.
always about the dollar. So it's just whatever they can do to bring more money for that program, they're going to do.
Yeah. And
It's
look,
legal, like it's going to do it.
speaking of the jersey patches, what is it? I talked about this with you last week with the Protect College Sports Act of 2026. It's a bad thing when Alabama and Auburn put out a joint statement against
Man,
it.
this is this is a new. You think you've seen it all? You haven't seen that.
Yeah. And then LSU came out I think is the most recent school to come out against it. But it's bad and something that's not good when Alabama and Auburn put out a
Come
joint
together.
statement for it.
Joints, not with the gun behind their heads.
Yeah,
Nothing
they
coercive.
voluntarily put out a joint statement.
Volunteer. Look, please, look, I just want you to see I just want you guys to understand the gravity of what's going on.
Yeah,
That's the that's the
the
time to me.
joint statement that shook the world.
Voluntarily, willfully. I just want y'all to understand. Like that's why we repeat this. I want y'all
Yeah,
not hearing this.
but
That's good.
McNeese, going back to McNeese and them, they're looking to build momentum from their 5-7 campaign last year, where they won 3 of their last 4 games.
Yeah.
They have the number 1 recruiting class in the Southland Conference,
Right.
and they're trying to build on a 4-4 league record from last year. They start their
Mhm.
season with 3 consecutive home games against Stephen F. Austin, Texas Wasteland. And if I said that wrong, just
Oh, I don't know if it's
deal with
Wesley.
it.
I forgot how to pronounce it. I think it's
Yeah,
Wesleyan. So I forgot.
Westland, something like that, in Tarleton State, before they come to LSU on October 3rd to get their
Day
paycheck.
before my birthday.
Yep, they'll get their check on October 4th.
And payday. That
Because
better the
that's
only
about
thing
the
they're
only
getting out
thing
of there.
these games are good for, besides unwanted injuries to me.
That's like I just at this point of where we are, I just don't see a benefit from us
Yeah,
playing a game like this. I really don't, man.
if
Just that's like
you want to take a third bye week, take a third bye week. But all of this does is these in-state schools, they really can't compete for a full 60-minute football game.
yeah,
But they are going to compete. They are going to play hard because they're going to the flagship university, the big SEC school in the state.
yeah.
So they come out ready to punch you in the mouth, but you get your top guys hurt in these type of games. And that's all they're good for to me, is getting a player hurt and giving the little school a paycheck.
Yeah, it's like I'm just beyond the point where just like the small like just those rental wins. We're just far beyond
Yeah.
that point. But we got that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. And I did the whole last episode on on Louisiana Tech. And I think I titled the episode Historically Competitive. Because in recent years when we played them, there's
Yeah,
only one game that's been over double digits, LSU win. The rest of them had been completely compact. And if I'm looking at it, the only time I was excited that McNeese was coming around was, I think, in 2016, or maybe after that. Let's see when LSU and McNeese played in the 2010s. Because I want to say it was when Khalil Thomas was playing for McNeese.
right,
That's the only time I ever looked at it and was excited they were coming to Baton Rouge.
right.
And it wasn't because McNeese was coming, it was because I played football with Khalil
Yeah,
and was
that's right.
excited to
Yeah,
see him, you know?
yeah. I forgot all about my guy.
Yeah. And I think that game got rained out because the weather was terrible,
Yeah,
you know?
that dude was a scooter, duh.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
dude can move, brother.
we played Denham Springs our senior year, and you can see it on the video, but the officials called him down.
Yeah.
It was a big old pile of just the Denham Springs defense, okay?
Mhm.
And he just weaseled his way through and
That
scored.
dude was so elusive, man. It was just like you could tell, man. It was that dude.
Yeah. But, with that being said, I feel like this is a good place to end the A&M and McNeese talk.
Yes, sir. Sounds good to me.
Hit that follow button, like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you always hear from us. With that, have a great day, a great night, whatever you have, make it a great one. And we'll see y'all next episode.
Peace.
Peace.